3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, this is Dave A. Gardner, and you're listening to the Heart of Juliet Jones Fan Fiction Podcast. This is part 13 of Chasing a Dream, based on the vintage daily comic strip called The Heart of Juliet Jones, with characters and stories originally written by Elliot Kaplan and illustrated by Stan Drake in 1961. The fan fiction story you're hearing today is written by Dave A. Gardner. Welcome back to a story that has the potential to brighten your day with a mix of humor, drama, and a whole lot of heart. In our last eye-popping episode, or on podcasts, ear-popping episode, Eve Jones was ready. After trying on all the dresses in her closet, she finally chose the best one that Shorty liked to say had all the pizzas. No, what he meant is the pizzazz, the riz, the panache, the elan, the oomph. Yes, there were very few dresses Eve could say had the oomph, but this was one of them. Now if it could only work its magic on the man who had come to visit unexpectedly. In our studio today, we've got, and I am beyond excited to welcome this special guest today. Please give it up for protagonist number 1, Juliet Jones.
Hey!
Welcome, Julie. How's your heart? Oh, funny. I'm just joking and breaking the ice. I'm sure your heart is beautiful. I mean, great. My goodness, this is a treat. Thanks for joining us for a brief interview. I know you're a very busy lady. You've got tons of pies to cook and carpets to vacuum, things like that. I'm the mayor of Devon. Oh, yes. How can I forget? They voted you in, or? Yes, they voted me in. Right. That's because that's how elections work. I can imagine you being the perfect mayor, really, of any town, anywhere in the world. Well, thank you, Dave. And thanks for telling my stories. Eve always gushes over your storytelling and thinks we ought to do something more dramatic to make things fun for listeners. Does she say that? Well, that would certainly spice things up. Let's talk about your experience being mayor. That must be an interesting, amazing opportunity for a woman like you in the 1960s. I mean, what do you see as the most interesting aspect of that job? It's very challenging to be mayor. I'm glad it's only 4 years. I could never do this forever. First of all, there are limited resources and funding, which we need for essential services like road maintenance, public safety, infrastructure. Then there's dealing with a strong sense of tradition in Devon, and trying to enact change can feel impossible most of the time. I can imagine Devon is a really, really, really small town of like 4 families. I've heard, from through the grapevine. A blip on the radar, I think, is what you called us in your last podcast episode. No. Did I say that? It's small, yes, but it has so much potential for growth, and trying to change causes these constant headaches. Now this? Eve. And the Miss Teenager contest. But you support her, as we've seen in the last episode. I support anything she does that is good for her, and good for her future. This could be a really good thing. And then I wonder, is this really all Eve is imagining it to be? I just don't want her bubble to be burst. Again. You're a good sister, Julie. Anyway, it may be a long shot, even for Eve, to think that she might have a chance to be a national contestant. I don't know. I do wish her well. Long shot or not, unbeknownst to Julie, Eve was at this moment getting ready to meet the dictator of the entire pageant. Let's listen in to Part 13, An Awestruck Encounter. It was late afternoon when Eve arrived at the Devon Hotel. An air of calmness settled over the perfectly mowed front lawn. Birds chirped gaily in the summer heat, flapping their wings in the bird bath by the quaint entrance of the hotel. In stark contrast to nature's docile mood was Eve's stammering heart. This was the opportunity that she had dreamed about for months. This teenager and the men responsible for the entire contest were right here in this very hotel, waiting to see her. She could hardly believe it. Eve got her breathing under control as she trotted up the stone steps to the front entrance. Their room was around the other side, third door on the right, number 32. Just outside the door of the room, she straightened her dress along the hips. Dabbing the curly ends of her hair, she gave herself a little pep talk.
Be calm, be poised, don't get rattled, and don't stutter.
Stuttering had always been her nervous habit when she was in a pinch, like that time at the school social when Ricky Sundance asked her to slow dance and she said, "Nito." In the confusion of the loud music, he had thought she said no 3 times. Well, that just wasn't going to happen today. Not today, she determined. Eve knocked 3 times. It wasn't so much of the shock that Glenn Sabine himself answered the door.
You! Soldier boy, tell me. Hey, I got this new dance for y'all called the Soldier Boy. Just gotta punch, then crank back.
It was what he said that knocked her off kilter. Ah, Miss Jones, I would say at this juncture that the camera is your sworn enemy. Eve tried to speak, but couldn't think of the words.
You would?
Great, she thought. So much for controlling the stutter. But what did he mean by that? It captures only fragments of your beauty, he replied, taking Eve's gloved hands in his. Even through the gloves, she could feel his heat coursing through her veins. The eyes are the only true delineators of such loveliness in depth. Awestruck was a perfect word to describe her first encounter with Glenn Sabine. Her eyes were so completely captured by his that she had barely even noticed the other man in the room, the older gentleman, watching them suspiciously from not a few feet away. Thanks again for joining us, dear listeners. As a reminder, if you're interested in reading more romantic stories by author Dave A. Gardner, be sure to check out the selection of life-changing and inspiring books listed on my website. That website address is authordaveagardner.com. That's authordaveagardner.com. You've listened to the Heart of Julia Jones Fan Fiction Podcast. Until next time, dear listeners, may joy and peace be yours, and like Juliet, may love always bloom in your heart like a rose.